Hello and welcome back. This is the second and last video for the Yaskawa VFDs. This one will be for the J1000 VFD. I'm not going to go over everything like I did on the last version, which was the Z1000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to kind of interpret the little screen that you get, which is a little bit more difficult to see just because there's a little less information. And because it's only a single line, it's a little harder to understand what you're looking at. But once you understand it once, it's very, very simple. So I'm going to go over things very quickly, and then this video should be 5 minutes, maybe 10 at the most, versus the 15 or 20 that the last one was, just to get you guys done and quick and over with. So, just like before, you hit main power on your AAON unit, and then to enable the drive, you turn on S1. So now it shows that it's enabled. And then now it needs to run, which it's already doing. If you want to shut it off, you just hit stop, and then you get the blinking green light on the run. And if you actually wanted it to run, you'll have to reset this, restart it, and then now it's running again. So a little bit different than the Z1000, but it's really not a big deal. So this is currently set up in analog input mode. As you can see, as I adjust the analog input, this changes as well. So this is your frequency. So F, so for frequency, then whatever your frequency is here. If you scroll down, you see a few things like parameters. Essentially, parameters is the same as in the Z1000 as programming. Keep that in the back of your mind. So you can go up or down. I just chose down. You can do a monitor section. And then here is your output voltage. And here is your ampacity. So really you need your frequency and you need your ampacity. So you're at 0.76 amps. And you're at an output of 39.36. So from here, I want to go down again to parameters. So right here, and then you hit enter. So just like before, you have A101, B101, C, D, all that kind of thing. So I'm going to show you how to do a couple here, and then that's pretty much it. The theory is the exact same with the Z1000, so I don't want to bore you guys with repetitive videos. So B101, so if you scroll up to B, it's the exact same as with the Z1000. It's also the same as the A1000 as well, but then the previous versions to that, which are the GPD, I think P5 series, they are very different. So this works for the A1000, V1000, J1000, and Z1000. Aside from that, I've never seen any other Yaskawa VFDs, but they're potentially similar to the newer ones. Alright, so B101 is the same as the Z1000 drive. Instead of having an equal sign that a value, you just have the first half of it, and then you hit enter, and then you have the value down here. Now I've already shut the drive off, but the one thing you can't do is this is where it's a little bit different than the Z1000. You also have to remove the run command and the run enable command. So this would be like from your controller or from the building automation system or whatnot. So once you remove that, now you can change this value. So now you go over and then you change it to a 1, or sorry, change it from a 1 to a 0, then you hit enter. Now this unit is in constant volume mode. So if you go back out, now you're going to see frequency of 0. So I'm going to hit the BAS or the controller run command. I'm going to allow the unit to run, and it's not going to do anything. Let's reset it. I believe, okay. So from here, you also have to set the frequency. So in there, you go up to parameters, then you hit enter, Then you go to, same as before, you go to D101, scroll all the way through, make sure it is off. It is off here because you show it not running here. You show the green blinky light over here, then you hit enter. Make sure this is pulled off just in case. Now I say, so this here is the constant volume speed. So clearly it wasn't set for anything, which is why it wasn't actually doing anything. So I'm going to set this to 33 Hertz, just as a unique number. And then scroll back out through the escape. Now it's set to 33 Hertz. I'm going to enable it at the building automation system or the controller. It's already running. So now I can see that the drive is running. I can see as you scroll down, you're going to get to the ampacity. Now this would normally, on a normal unit, this would say some value. On this one, this is just what we're kind of setting it to. But if I was to shut this off, all right, so on this simulator, it did work. So when I shut it off, it simulated the proper zero amps. So that worked just fine. All right, so turning them back on, we see that we're running at 33 Hertz. So that's basically it. I meant to keep this shorter, and that's exactly what I did. What you do, again, is you have to go through your parameters section. There's other stuff too. There's setup, there's verify, there's monitor. There's a bunch of different stuff, but those are to troubleshoot at a later date, and that's to troubleshoot issues that you potentially have, and find out why things are locking at other things. So if you had an issue, like let's say you removed your base frequency or made it incompatible with what was set up previously or what is set up in the unit, that might lock it out. Or if you somehow messed with your inputs so that S1 doesn't know what S1 is anymore, if it thinks it's something else, there's all kinds of things that could stop you from having a functional unit. When you get Yaskawa, let's say J1000s or Z1000s off the shelf, they come with a base frequency or base setup, I should say. Then you run through a quick setup process. The setup process throws a bunch of default parameters down, and then AAON has about 25 or so that 25 to 30 that you adjust, just like I just showed you how to adjust, and then everything is kind of up and running. You just have to make very, very clear in the controller. You have to the few things you have to set. You have to set the base frequencies for VAV. You have to set the variable, the bottom end of the VAV. You have to send the top end. Same thing with constant volume in your D101. You have to make sure you set that if it's a constant volume unit. And the other biggest thing is, well, the other two big things, I guess, would be your FLA. So basically how much current you're allowed to go through this, so that it's a protection. So if you set it to 100 amps and you only have a 5 amp motor, that you could easily blow out your motor. But if you set it to 5.2 amps on a 5 amp motor, then you're fine. Things like that. And then the other one essentially is just making sure your acceleration and deceleration timers are reasonable. So don't have a supply fan set to 5 seconds, because you're going to overamp, you're going to over torque, and you're going to make a lot of noise in the duct when you want a nice, slow, steady 30 to 45 second ramp up, even longer potentially if you want it to be really, really slow, and things like that. So you just want to make sure that you go with AAON's recommended parameters, and then if you have any issues at all on pretty much every single AAON unit in the last 10 years and maybe even longer, on typically the fan door, it will have a Yaskawa sticker. Essentially, that sticker says, if you have issues, call this number. Call the number, you give them your name, you give them your phone number, you give them your company name, and then they will say, how can I help you? And then you just go through your issues, and they are phenomenal. They are by far, hands down, the best support company that I've ever worked with. They will help you. They will solve your problem. They will immediately send you an email saying, if you have any other issues, please contact us here or give us a call back. And then sometimes they even follow up. And I've actually had quite a few surveys done where they said, you know, help us figure out, you know, how we can do better. And they've actually sent me a few different, you know, prizes or whatnot, you know, through that. So if they ever give you a survey, you know, you might as well fill it out, because at the end you get to choose, assuming they're doing that at specific surveys, you actually get to choose your kind of gift, your reward, and it's a very, very simple survey. So they're really good to work with. The drives last very long, and you know, their troubleshooting is excellent. All right, I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, please contact me on my website. Otherwise, have a great day.